Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be watching a very high Momar Razor player. This was a game I recently played. I'm not the Razor, I'm actually the Visage in this game. But the reason why I want to take a look at this game is I want to help you guys get your map movements down, and this can apply to any role. Everything you're about to learn can apply to any role. It's just about kind of understanding the game of Dota 2, understanding some more advanced map movements that really enable you to get to the next level. Like, these are things that, honestly, just like no one understands. And even if you understand them, you're not good at executing them. So you need to watch this video and really internalize these concepts so that you can actually get to the next level rather than getting stuck in your bracket. But alright. Also, I want to tell you guys that if you've been struggling with solo queue and you're looking to get to the next rank, I'm going to be able to help you. Like, literally, with the gameleap website, I'm going to give you guys guides that are going to make it unbelievably clear on what you need to do. So if you've been stuck in the solo queue grind, you don't know what to do, and you want to become absolutely broken, but like actually you want to become much better at Dota, and you want to take it more seriously, the gameleap website is going to help you do that. So click the link down below, I'm going to help you get to the next rank, and I'll see you there. So the person we're going to be looking at, as I said, is the Razor. Now he's having a great game. He's 3-0, 83 CS, top net worth, everything is looking good for your boy Razor, right? Things are looking great. Now, where I think things go really poorly, and I can assure you he needs to change things up, is right here. So I want to quickly give you guys, as we watch him hit some creeps, I want to give you guys some perspective on the game, or some context on the game. He's currently playing with a Templar Assassin and Alina. Also, he has a Doom support. A very greedy team comp, I think we can all agree on that, right? His team is extremely greedy. So, looking at a TA and Alina comp, I would say there's very little periods of time in this game where he should be hitting the triangle. In fact, even here, he even ulties the triangle. Now, why do I see this as a problem? Because he has a bots Lina. He has a Lina who wants to play out into the side lanes. He has a Lina that wants to farm triangle. He even may have a TA who, you know, I actually have no idea why she goes Dessa this game. I think she should go D-Lance and dead lane, play the dead lane to enable the Lina to just farm mid in the nearby camps, which I'm getting a bit off topic here. Basically, what I'm saying is the TA should also itemize to not have to play defensive, which is what Deso generally does, because it's not a great item when it comes to survivability. It's a later timing than D-Lance, so I really don't like this guy's item build this game. I think it's pretty atrocious for, you know, how the game should be played out, or at least how I think it should be played out. But as you'll see, the Razor does not really push in the top wave. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, oh, but Speed, he has no vision, and he sees a Visage here, right? He can't push out the top lane. It's too dangerous. His team's not even with him. Well, that's where you gotta be careful, guys, because this is what the average player thinks. In fact, this is what, I mean, this guy's ranked 300. He's a very talented player. I'm not, right? This is not me trying to completely just crap on this guy. But once again, he pushes out one lane and proceeds to hit the triangle. Now, his Lina is playing a very aggressive game, which I already think is a little bit suspect, but I kind of understand what she's doing. She's kind of thinking to herself, okay, I have to create the space this game. But how I see this match and what I think should have happened is the Doom should have played much more offensive in this area. The Razor should have played much more up in this area. And they should have looked to shove this wave in and force me to show in a defensive area around this location under my tier 2, me being the Visage. And the reason why is what ends up happening in this game is as Visage, I was able to just kind of farm everything I wanted. I had an Animage who had TP'd bottom, which is the reason why I'm top in the first place personally. I actually got kicked out of my area, otherwise I would generally be trying to push in bottom, kind of like I think the Razor should be pushing in top here, but I got to farm absolutely everything. I went from having a pretty mediocre game, I was doing, I guess, quite well for a Visage, to being able to just kill off heroes like Lina here because I'm level 12 this early on into the game, literally a Visage level 12. I think I'm tied for highest in the game. Now my team is not doing well, that's because of the lanes, I can assure you. My AM was like bottom 3 net worth. AM pickers, am I right? But I want you to understand this, guys. His movement, and this was probably the biggest one out of all of them, his movement doesn't really put any pressure on the map. It doesn't force me to show in any aggressive area, and it doesn't really enable his team to make aggressive plays because no one's ever going on to him. He's never really forcing anyone to show. He's not taking farm away from me as the Visage, so I'm completely free farming when I'm like relatively killable, right? I could get linked with like a CM Frostbite and die at this point in the game. And so I even had to be relatively afraid, but what he doesn't do is, well, actually, let me show you this. But what he didn't do is he could have just played up in here, put down a ward, and then farm this camp, wave here, this camp, Lina can farm triangle, TA can farm here, Lina can bots in to help the side lanes, Doom and CM can set up the side lanes. But they're not doing that. Instead, now, look at this clip, right? This is where I was watching this, I'm like, what happened? Why did I have so much space this game, right? Why was this game so easy for me as the Visage? And I watched, I'm like, what is this movement? Like, the problem is he gets baited so hard here, partially by his team and partially just by himself. He's so close to BKB. And so you'll see here, he's very close to the Giga timing. The Giga timing on Razor is very simple, it's BKB. Why? Because your hero needs to stay melee range for very extended periods of time to do damage. It's a simple concept. You gotta stay close to them for a while. If you do that and you don't have BKB, you're gonna feed, because you have to be in the range of other people's spells. So, what we're gonna see is he kind of, farms the Lina's camps again, and instead, Lina has to use her bots now, which is not necessarily the end of the world, but right, the TA's farming top when TA could be farming mid, Lina can be farming here, and Razor could be farming here, and be farming just better parts of the map, because now Lina farms this, and she doesn't know where to go, right? She doesn't know where to go because Razor's taking her camps. No one is taking any sort of dangerous farm. This is their area that they want to play. And, to some extent, what they're doing isn't completely horrible. It's not. They are still farming. They're 2k net worth ahead. The issue is, once again, they crushed their lane. I want to give you guys a little bit more perspective once again. My mid laner is Marcy, okay? My mid laner is Marcy. My safe laner is Animage. They are in a very advantageous position, right? They are in a position to win this game. Now, yeah, my Ron is quite farm, right? He's got a vessel, so he's pretty strong. But you get the point. They could be putting some map pressure. They got some TA traps. They could be looking to even play for Roshan, right? Why not? We have an Animage and an underfarmed Marcy who has one BKB component. They're about to have a completed BKB, a Deso, and then maybe another completed BKB in the next 2-3 minutes. Instead, they're making these psychotic split map plays that don't enable Roshan when they have a Templar Assassin. The Razor's taking the most defensive farm on the map when he's arguably the most survivable of the 3 cores, especially when he gets his BKB, which he could have by now if he just took a bit more farm priority. Once again, he has not really been amping his game because he literally ran across the whole map. I'm gonna show you guys that one more time, right? He ran across the whole map, like look. He doesn't want to take this camp, he just runs across the whole map. It's like so inefficient, it's so inefficient. And, he even uses his ulti kind of late here, but I'm nitpicking at this point. The point is that, you gotta be really aware that every little decision you make, really impacts the game. That's why when people think they're better than pros, when Twitch has like, oh my gosh, Niche is so good, and his teammates are so bad, and they're all holding him back. Like, while there could be some truth to that sometimes, right? Maybe a little bit of truth. Generally, it's just wrong, and they have no clue what goes into these high-level games and how much these players understand about enabling their teammates. Now, they're not perfect, right? I don't even think I'm perfect, and I don't think I fully understand Dota, but hopefully you can kind of get the point of why this stuff really matters. All right, so now, really to make sure you guys fully see what I'm talking about, this is some really advanced stuff, and we're going to be looking at Collapse here, the offlaner for Team Spirit, TI winner. He's got a bit more of a, interesting build. He's got the Midas, so obviously in that regard, he's got to be a bit more defensive, but not really, considering it's not like the last clip we looked at, he had a completed BKB, right? He didn't. In fact, he didn't have it at all for the entirety of what we looked at, so he wasn't necessarily more survivable than even what Collapse is here. In fact, Collapse even has a windlace and, range drops, items the other player did not, so a bit more survivability in that regard. Either way, they take the top tower, okay? Very similar to the last game. Very similar. Very, very similar. Tower taken. In fact, I would argue Collapse's game is even a little bit harder. Not nearly as much of a laning advantage, right? On top of that, they have pretty good ways of killing Razor. Either way, let's move on. So, after he takes a tower, you're going to see him going to push out the top side of the map. No vision! Not a single ward on the map! Okay, so if you want to tell me, oh, it's because in these pro games, they have so much vision and blah, 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 blah. It's not the case, okay? He's going to take this camp with no vision of the enemy team, right? No vision. Now, he's got to be a little bit afraid. The game is clearly not going too great if you look at the map setup. I don't know why no one on his team is trying to farm anything in this area. They must be afraid of, I guess, this overfarmed timber. And so there's, some reason for them to be afraid, but he's got to be a little bit careful. However, he does see the timber and he sees the edge. This gives him a little bit of confidence to walk up the hill, so he's using some of the information he's gathering throughout the map to decide whether or not he should walk up the hill. I'm going to show you that one more time, okay? Not walking up the hill. He's a little bit afraid. He's a little bit afraid, okay? He doesn't really know where people are. Edge timber shows, walks up the hill. You can tell these players actually look at the map. When you don't look at the map. I know you don't look at the map. Don't lie to me. I know you're not looking at the map as much as they are. Either way, we're going to see another nice Q onto the wave and onto the small camp. Still no wards. Okay, he has one top. That's not going to show him if they're ganking him. Right, sees the ogre push up here. Even with the ogre showing here, doesn't instantly leave the area. Then he's going to go for his side pull, which I thought was extremely high skill. The reason why I think this is high skill is because his team is creating practically no space on the map for him. He's going to do a play that is a little bit more defensive than usual. Now, once again, I want you guys to really understand that in this game, nothing is happening here or here. In the other game, there was quite consistent fighting in the bottom side of the map. Okay? That is not happening this game. And his lanes were worse. So he's going to come up with still a cool play to not take the triangle away from his other cores and not take farm away from his other cores while still farming a very aggressive portion of the map. On top of that, Razor's good at this just fundamentally as a hero because you have a very good wave clear ability and your ulti is a very, very good farming ability. We're going to see him go on Timber briefly here. This is obviously just to, steal some damage, kick out the Timber, and then farm the wave. But fight happens bottom. What happens when the fight happens bottom? Instantly, a mirror movement on the top side of the map. His team shoves out bottom, he mirrors to top. He doesn't go bottom. Why? Because Razor is a hero as an offlaner that wants to scale. Even as a safe laner or a mid, you want to scale. So he's going to go once again, push up to the top wave, sees a hero mid, sees the Huskar bottom, sees the ogre mid as well. And now a Huskar, hard gank comes out bottom. And this will probably give him some confidence because why? Why would this give him confidence, guys? It's a very natural play. If a fight happens or a pickoff happens near the enemy towers, you can assume they will TP. And you generally should assume, not always, but generally you should assume that they will TP. That's exactly what happens here. They TP, Huskar dies, right? Really nice play by the Bat. Even if Bat ends up dying, which looks like he's probably going to, unless he hits the crazy jukes. He's probably dead here. Yeah. A nice attempt on his part. But either way, you see that he assumes the TPs are going to be forced. What does he do? Hard pushes into the enemy jungle. Right? He also bullied out the Timber earlier. Now you might be like, oh, but Visage is good against Razor. Not really. You can just kind of link the guy and run at him, steal some damage, ulti. Can't run at you. He can't. Right? Not a really game. Not when he's level like 10. Right? Only has 1 point in birds. He's not that, destructive. And so the movements mirror immediately once he loses vision of the enemy and they might be shifting back towards the top side of the map. What happens? What happens? He leaves, he backs up. Even a fight around Roshan is happening, as we're going to see. A pretty unfortunate engagement. This is probably why you shouldn't buy Midas on Razor. Actually, psych, Midas on Razor's broken. Never mind, he's dead. Either way, you guys get the point. I'm not going to look at team fighting. This is not the point of the video. I really want you guys to fully understand how important these movements are. And when people ask me, what are the differences between, a pro player and a rank 300 or rank 200, rank 250? It's movements like this. It's the ability to adjust your movements, your map movements ever so slightly based on very small amounts of information around the map. And it does require a bit of risk. At times, you have to play Dota a little bit risky if you want to be a good player. And, most of it's based on information. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you appreciate this video. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace. And that's all, but remember, before you leave, before you tune out, subscribe to the gameleap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.